Good evening, this is Nick Inman from VolumeProfileTrader.com on Friday, December 16th, and in this video we're going to look at the mini S&P and also the euro dollar. So let's jump into the S&P. We're looking at a 1 week chart that is separated by, you see the individual days, the weekly composite volume profile on the side, and obviously the individual volume profile charts behind price. So getting into Monday, basically, and this includes overnight. Overnight we sold off. We made a high at 1254.50 and basically started making lower lows and lower highs since. On Monday in the afternoon, we found a base at this 1221 level, and we had a nice pop into the close. We held those lows going into Europe. Through Europe, we rallied. We opened in the U.S. markets right at the top of this range. You can see, going back to the prior day, we had a balance area there. We failed against it, immediately moved lower. The point of control for this Tuesday formed at the top end of this range. You see buyers couldn't push it back above. We get a big slam. Now the whole moving averages are starting to really push down. We had a pretty decent bottom Tuesday afternoon. Had a small, snapback, not a snapback, but a small melt up going into the U.S. Markets. Got into Europe. These whole moving averages, too much momentum to the downside. Basically where we broke down. You can see what was support just the prior 2 days ago is now resistance. Sold into that. Whole moving average is still going down. Sell any rip into this and get involved. Well, know that the market's going to stop eventually. It decided to stop right above the 1200 level and balanced out on Wednesday afternoon. Point of control formed at the bottom of the range. So we figure that the range for now is probably in. Overnight we had a dip below, an immediate reversal. And from Thursday, we held the lows, or I should say we held the point of control from Wednesday. So that was positive. The only thing that wasn't positive going into Friday was the fact that on Thursday, the S&P did not close above its daily point of control. The other issue, which wasn't necessarily a bad thing, it just showed you that there's still some selling pressure into this market, is the sell-off that we got in the morning. We gapped and crapped, so that's that was our trade to the downside in the morning, which was fine. But what we're looking for is some type of reversal to the upside, and the reason why is this volume profile on the right. The weekly composite on Thursday, it shifted to the bottom end of the range. So that really encouraged me that we could get involved to the long side. Well, we had our move to the long side overnight in, Thursday night, Friday morning. We had a nice, really a decent push from 1208 to 1225. It was, one swift move for a general slow moving week. It was a decent move. Right back into this resistance zone and this 1220, 1225 level, it continues to show that it's going to be a level that's the market's not comfortable going above right now. The buyers can't bring it above it. So looking into the weekend, we closed below Friday's point of control. Whole moving average is pointing down. Well, we have two pointing down, one overpriced, one below price. It shows that really we're in balance with the downside bias. Why? Because we're coming from higher levels, so let the trend, do what it's going to do. And right now it wants to move lower. The only thing that's holding this market up is this recent high volume area, this point of control level. It's holding up the market. So as long as really we stay above this. Let me zoom out one so we can see. this 1203, 1204 level. It's probably going to be okay to the long side, but nothing's guaranteed. As of right now, I'd be looking for a trade one way or the other on Monday morning against this high volume area. If it's down, then I think you take it to the downside. If it's up, I think you take it to the upside. So, and also it depends on the news flow. But now I want to look at a monthly composite of the S&P and see what's going on. What I'm going to do is point out the high volume level that we're really keying on, and it is from 1184-ish to 1215-ish. Currently, zoomed in a little too much. Currently, we're inside of that range, and we're at the top of the range with struggle getting above that. So, or I should say, staying above that. We closed 3 days in a row below it. You can see the volume for the point of control for December. It's still at the top of the range. So that helps us, clue in that for the month the trend is still down until this point of control shifts to down to here, which indicates that more volumes being taken place down here than it was up here for the month of December. That you still remain basically with a sell until you get down to this 1190, 1180 level, and then see what the market does. If the market can stabilize here and really start to, it'll be nice when the market breaks this downtrend resistance and the point of control forms it's going to form at this 1208 to 1212 level if it forms, and we're going to see more buying likely to come into the market, and what we're really looking for is a test back of the 1250, 1260, 1270 levels. So overall, the market, it's still in a sell. I think that we can do a little more action at these levels or push lower. It's clear that the market doesn't want to go higher right now, and we look at this 1208 level, call it. If we can hold that, that's positive. If we dip below but then make a quick U-turn, that's also, well, it's positive if this is really looking like it's going to turn into the point of control or already is. And if not, like I said, back to the bottom of this range. So let's move on to the euro, and we're just going to go backwards this time. Look at the 1 month composite and then bring it back into the daily and weekly. So the 1 month composite, you can see the volume, the majority of it was done at the top of the range. Once we broke out of this downtrend channel, except for to the downside, and we found a recent low at 129.65, and we're trying to find the top of the range right now. Right now it is 130.96. You can see this most recent high, although give this an opportunity to continue to work and do what it's going to do. It's probably going to be in this range for a couple of days. If it doesn't, and for example it keeps moving lower, that's a very strong move. If it moved to the downside, the strength of that is really incredible. But what I would expect to see is more consolidation and maybe an attempt to push back up towards 132.50. So bringing it back into the daily time, or daily composite, weekly composite time frame, we are, generally speaking, it looks similar to the S&P, and on Monday we based around 132 or so. You see the point of control. We sold off all day. Point of control finishes at the bottom of the range. During the Euro session, we held those lows. We had a little pop going into the early morning of Tuesday into the pit session, and basically sold off, broke those lows. Whole moving averages all still moving down. We continue lower. During the pit session, we form our point of control, which was up here. You can see the high volume. Well, it was the only high volume in this composite until we broke lower, traded sideways, then the composite formed. We flushed again. we based around, we based at the lows of the pit session for the euro, and no point of control formed, so we were looking to sell at the point of control from the day. Not saying that I was awake to do this, but you got that opportunity early in the morning around when euro opened. We had another sell-off. Then we closed on Wednesday around the point of control. You can see the stabilization that started to occur. Our resistance is still the Tuesday point of control. You can see we got to those highs today in the pit session, or when the market opened, and we sold off immediately. It got ugly towards the, I guess, early afternoon, and we ended up reversing on the euro, which was coincidentally off this point of control from Wednesday. And we finished actually relatively strong. We finished above the point of control for the week, and we're looking to test this 131.07 level. Just call it recent highs, or 131.10 or 131.11. Sorry. Let's not make it more difficult than what it is. But I'm not a euro trader, but I follow it. It's a similar, the concept doesn't change. Volume profile, no matter what underlying you're watching, it is the one thing that all markets will do. All it is showing you is the amount of volume that's taking place in the horizontal levels. And you can see that if you coincide this with maybe some moving averages and understand what's going on and what the market's doing, you're going to make a ton of money no matter what you trade, I promise you. And I think that it should help anyone. If this is something that interests you, please feel free to go to volumeprofiletrader.com and check it out. Maybe become a member. You can register for free and get a few things sent out to you every day, every night. And if you sign up, you can come to our trading room and experience what goes on during the day, what we're looking at, what we're watching, what we're trading. Some trades don't work out, and that's just the reality of trading. You get stopped out, but the majority of the time we'll make a lot more money than we came with that morning. So it's a fun time. Hope to see your interest in trying to improve yourself and becoming a better trader and giving this a chance. So thank you, and I'll see you on Monday.